The door that only opens when you let go of control. Lessons of spiritual prosperity. There's a silent secret few people understand. Most doors in life don't open when you force them. They open when you let go. We spend years trying to control timing, people's behavior, the destiny of projects, and even how God should act in our lives. But the law of attraction teaches that excessive control is the greatest thief of manifestation. The more you try to hold on, the more the universe understands that you are afraid of losing. And fear, by its very nature, creates resistance. The energy of abundance doesn't flow under tension. It manifests where there is surrender, trust, and faith. Control is the child of fear, and faith is the child of trust. When you lean on faith, your vibration changes. You shift from begging to knowing, and those who know manifest. Many people spend their whole lives trying to attract prosperity, but do it from a place of anxiety. They visualize, affirm, and pray, but their hearts are still closed by the fear of lack. And it's exactly that fear that keeps the door locked. Imagine the universe as a divine vault, and the key is surrender. You don't open that vault with force, but with letting go. God doesn't work through haste. He works through certainty. And when you try to control, you send the opposite message. I don't trust. True faith is silent. It doesn't need to shout or prove itself. It knows the right time will come. When you let go, energy realigns, the right people appear, situations unfold naturally, and money comes from unexpected places. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding that you're not the creator of the universe, but the channel through which it acts. There's a huge difference between acting with purpose and acting out of desperation. Purpose is born from connection. Desperation is born from lack of trust. When you let go, it doesn't mean you stop acting. It means you start acting with lightness. And that lightness is the fertile ground where blessings grow. Everything forced dies. Everything that flows blossoms. The flower doesn't open before its time, and the butterfly doesn't tear the cocoon apart. So it is with your prosperity. How many times have you tried to control something only to end up suffocating the process? A relationship, a business, a dream. And when you finally gave up, the result came. That happens because the energy of surrender is magnetic. The universe understands when you trust. The fear of losing vibrates scarcity. Trust vibrates abundance. When you let go, your vibration rises. It's as if you're saying, I already received it. And it's at that very point that the law of attraction works with the most power. Manifestation doesn't happen when you ask. It happens when you believe it's already yours. In spirituality, letting go of control is an act of supreme faith. It's telling God, your will be done, not mine. It's when the ego becomes silent and the soul speaks. The human mind craves control. The soul seeks flow, and prosperity is flow. Wealth isn't a reward for those who control. It's a consequence for those who trust. That's why the trusting ones seem to attract miracles, while the controllers tire themselves trying to make everything work. The secret lies in doing your part with love and letting the higher power handle the rest. Attachment is the cement of scarcity. When you cling, you block energy. When you let go, everything renews. Jesus said, whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for love will save it. This sentence is the heart of spiritual prosperity. The attachment to form blocks the miracle. Many times, what you want is already on its way, but your fear of losing keeps it from arriving. The universe only delivers the new when you release the old. The secret is simple. Stop trying to control the outcome and start caring for your vibration. The vibration of surrender is one of the most powerful that exists. It doesn't depend on circumstances, but on your internal state. When you trust even without seeing, something moves in invisible dimensions. Energy responds to your faith before reality manifests. That's why miracles happen when you least expect them. The moment you say, "I trust," reality begins to bend in your favor. Prosperity is not a consequence of effort. It's a consequence of alignment. Letting go of control also means forgiveness. When you forgive, you cut the energetic cords that keep you tied to the past, and each released cord creates space for the new. Spiritual prosperity isn't just money, it's peace, harmony, and health. It's the feeling of being aligned with purpose, and forgiveness is the key to that alignment. To forgive is to let go of the desire to control what others should have done. It's allowing God to take care of justice while you take care of vibration. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when you must let go of the helm and let God steer. That isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's when you realize that strength comes from above, not from you. Faith isn't a tool of control, it's a bridge of trust. Everything that belongs to you is already on the way. When you surrender control, the path clears, and suddenly what seemed impossible becomes natural. Prosperity begins to flow like a river that never dries. Today, life may be asking you for exactly that, to let go. Let go of the hurry, the fear, the "how will it happen?" Do your part, but surrender the outcome. The door you're trying to force open only unlocks when you relax. The vibration of trust is the password to miracles. God is saying, stop pushing the door, it opens inward. And when you stop forcing, the universe will show you that everything you've been looking for was always there, waiting for the moment you let go of control. There comes a point in every spiritual search when understanding replaces effort. You realize you are not the driver of life. You are the passenger learning to trust the path. The human mind was trained to crave safety, but the spirit was created to live by faith. And once you see that, you notice that your greatest blessings never came from insisting, but from releasing. That is the essence of spiritual prosperity. The ability to rest in the certainty that the universe knows the way better than you do. Many people live exhausted, trying to control every detail of their existence. They pray for signs, yet immediately want to decide how and when those signs should appear. They try to attract prosperity, but doubt when the process requires patience. They want the miracle to fit human timing, but it manifests only on the frequency of trust. To prosper spiritually is to understand there is divine timing for everything, and the more you relax, the faster the doors open. The energy of surrender is not passivity, it is wisdom. Surrender means saying, I've done my part, now I'll let the flow take care of the rest. It is when you hand the reins to God and allow yourself to be guided. And curiously, that's the very moment when the universe begins to conspire in your favor. Because true faith isn't the absence of action, it's the presence of peace within action. Think of rivers. No river worries about its route. It simply flows, moving around stones, crossing mountains, following its natural course toward the sea. It doesn't force, it adapts. And yet nothing stops it. Life is the same when you decide to trust. When you stop fighting against the very current carries you to the right destination. Many confuse control with responsibility. Responsibility means acting with awareness. Control means acting from fear. Fear is the impulse of those who don't believe life can take care of itself. And that fear blocks abundance. When you try to handle everything alone, the universe assumes it doesn't need to interfere. After all, you're trying to be the author of the story. But when you release, God enters the scene. Spiritual prosperity begins with the vibration of trust. No financial plan, mental technique, or mechanical prayer can replace the energy of someone who truly trusts. Trust is silent yet powerful, invisible yet magnetic. It's the soul's language saying, I know everything is already solved. When you let go of control, the mind resists because it was trained to fear the void. It believes that if it's not planning or worrying, something will go wrong. But the universe works in space, not in tension. It's in the gap between thoughts that intuition speaks. It's when the inner noise quiets that God whispers the answers. There's a turning point in every seeker's life. The moment they realize that excessive effort is the enemy of manifestation. You work, dedicate, pray, visualize, and nothing happens. Then one day, tired of trying, you take a deep breath and say, "Whatever happens, let it be by divine will." And suddenly everything starts to work out. That is not coincidence, that is alignment. Letting go of control is opening space for the improbable. It's allowing the universe to surprise you with possibilities you never imagined. It's believing that the shortest path isn't always the wisest. It's trusting that even delays are forms of protection. When something doesn't happen in your timing, it's because the timing isn't ready for you. God never denies requests. He prepares roads. And if the road takes time, it's because the request is too big to fit on a small path. He needs to strengthen you first, expand your mind, and mature your heart. Because if the blessing arrives before consciousness, it's wasted. To prosper spiritually is to be ready to receive without fear. When you let go of control, life shows you clear signs. Coincidences multiply, the right doors open, people reappear, and opportunities bloom. And the most beautiful part, you feel peace even without knowing what's ahead. That peace is the greatest sign of alignment. But it takes practice to remain in that state. The ego wants results, the spirit wants harmony. The ego wants to prove, the spirit wants to live. So every time anxiety rises, tell yourself, "I trust." Repeat it as often as needed until your body learns it no longer has to fight. Money, relationships, health, everything responds to your vibration. And the vibration of trust is the only one capable of sustaining lasting miracles. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you feel. And when you feel already blessed, the universe confirms it. An ancient wisdom says, the tighter you close your fist, the faster the sand slips away. The same is true with dreams. Hold them with love, not with fear. Love sustains, fear suffocates. Letting go of control is choosing love even when everything seems uncertain. True freedom begins when you stop trying to predict the future. Faith isn't seeing, it's walking even without seeing the ground. And each step taken in trust builds the invisible bridge that leads you to prosperity. Pause for a moment and reflect. How many good things came when you stopped insisting? How many times has life surprised you right after you finally gave up control? That is the silent miracle of surrender. God doesn't need your detailed plans. He needs your permission to act. And that permission comes when you say, "I let go, I trust, I allow." Prosperity is a frequency, and only those vibrating in the frequency of trust can enter. If you want to see your life expand, start by releasing. Release the need for approval, the fear of failure, the desire to always be right. Release comparisons and rush. To rush the universe is to doubt divine perfection. Control is an illusion. No one controls the sunrise, the beating of the heart, or the timing of harvest. Everything has its natural cycle. When you try to control, you interfere with that cycle and create resistance. But when you trust, the harvest happens exactly on time. Prosperity isn't a prize, it's a reflection. It mirrors your inner state. A peaceful heart creates abundance, an anxious heart creates scarcity. That's why the greatest investment you can make is in your inner peace. From today on, make a pact with the universe. You do your best and it does the rest. Work with love but without anxiety. Pray with faith but without despair. Wait with serenity and you'll see how everything aligns perfectly. When you let go of control, something inside you heals. The mind rests, the body relaxes, and the spirit rises. Prosperity begins to flow as a natural consequence, not as a struggle. The door you've been trying so hard to open might just be waiting for one thing, for you to stop pushing.